Let's talk a little bit about measurement, actually, right? Because I believe that one of the biggest problems plaguing the event world is lack of data, lack of measurement. And I
That
think
big.
those two things, yep, those two things lead to uninformed decisions, lack of
Yes.
strategic approach. The event world has plenty of what I would call survey data,
Yeah.
right?
Anecdotal.
Plenty, yep, plenty of it. Where we lack is, I don't want to call it like in the moment or like
Passive,
quantitative data.
yep.
I don't really know exactly how to say it, but you had mentioned A/B testing,
Hmm.
right? I am a huge believer from I would say specifically from, well, just specific trade shows
Yeah.
standpoint that you need to be adjusting your approach at all times. Does this work? No, move it, switch it, change it. That works, move it, switch it. Like, because you're going to get results, you're going to engage the customer. So talk to me a little bit about through tech AI and be specific on like which parts, how it gets used, and then sort of how you can A B test, how you can create your own data to then create more informed decisions.
Yeah, I mean, even going into the prep of like, let's say, like the trade show, of being able to have a conversation with in role play at a booth setting, you could do the entire setting and you can get your personas and put your persona in there and say like, why have this person be resistant to working with me,
Mhm.
and have a role play discussion to like, increase the potency of what your script will be in your booth. So like it even start at that level, prior to getting there an event marketer standpoint. But I look at the linear thinking as an example of like what's not working in trade show booths as if my goal is to get 30 leads and that's my only
Mhm.
goal and I get 29, I failed. Next year I have two choices. I either pull out of that show because it's a bad show, it's a zero from 1 to 0, or I create a whole new design for the booth and strategy and I take another guess completely and it's just as likely to fail as before. So utilizing AI, you have the opportunities to look at both registration information to get a better idea of who's coming. Every one of those shows gives you a prospectus that will tell you more about who is coming there in order for you to determine where these people are going, what kind of content are they reading, like what are they hungry for. These are all things that you can prepare better for as opposed to just taking your educated guess or going from what you did the previous year and say, all right, and how do I have a dialogue with what these people need? Like, how do they make decisions, right? Like, and look at that in your design all the way through. But this idea of like having a goal that is just one number and saying pass fail is bad for the organizer, it's bad for the exhibitor, it's bad for the attendee. It's just a bad ecosystem. And even the generative AI as a use case for you to have these dialogues to enhance your design for your messaging, to look at your data on your website to determine like what has the longest dwell rates that you can look at within specific groups of people. Like these are all ways that you can have a better messaging. And then on top of that, I mean, email automation can be done with generative AI too to make your follow-ups even better. But then there's technology. I mean, like I work for a company that is in booths and, we look at, more data beyond just the one single metric leads generated to be able to provide you a little bit more clues. Honestly, RFID has the ability to do that too. There's just some lift issues associated sometimes with that. But all of these things are opportunities, even voting within the booth, right? Like your opportunity, if they made it this far, they did all those things I just mentioned, the plane, the whole thing, they got up to your booth, you were on the list, and you're not collecting information around like what their preferences are when you have them, like having a simple, even one question, SMS, QR code, whatever else, you win an iPad to be able to answer a single question, what would have got you to, buy this today or something maybe less specific than that. These are all opportunities every step of the way is data collection, and you can sort all those things. Even that anecdotal post-event survey data you said has value if you can sort through it. Like I take Excel spreadsheets of all of that data, I drop it in and I say, okay, organize this by functions of events, meaning all the information around the keynote speech, all the information about the networking, et cetera. So I do that. I also say, what are the highest sentiment words associated with this? Show me the highest negative sentiments. And it looks through all that nonsense. Usually it's about like dry chicken and things that don't matter. But like, I just really care about this or like bottom line, or
Yeah.
this is my mission. Where did we fail our mission? Where did we hit our mission? What are my opportunities to the least amount of money to make improvements? What are the personas that need the most amount of work? Like taking that in there, even at any level of what you're doing, survey people who are attending When your lead generation at your booth, I mean, in the exhibitor side, also send them a survey about their experience at the booth. Like, don't be scared to find out information, because I think we don't ask questions a lot of times because we don't want to know the answers, or it's not that we don't want to know the answers. We just don't want to be proven that we're wrong.